So it's not often that I make 2 videos in a day, but I did want to talk about Remark Holdings, which is the stock symbol MARK. A couple of days ago, I believe it was Sunday night, I was looking at the chart and I noticed this what's called a declining wedge pattern. Now, I'm not a technical analyst. I have taken a course in it and I can recognize 2 or 3 patterns. One of the patterns I can recognize is this, what's called a declining wedge. I drew it on purple here in this graph earlier this week, and you can see that when you connect the highs of a stock over a period of time, and then you connect the lows, it does make this sort of triangle facing downward, right? So the highs are not as high as they used to be, the lower highs and lower lows, and it does seem to be consolidating. Now this is known as a bullish pattern because oftentimes the stock will pop out. I mean, this stock almost has to resolve itself one way or the other. And so I put this arrow on the chart at that time and said, you would expect that at some point the stock has to pop out of this and form a new pattern. Well, this was on, I believe, so this is on the weekend. Sunday night I had done this. And so on Monday, the stock, look at that, popped out of the declining wedge. I'll leave the lines in the arrow as I did previous, but you can sort of see that there was a point in time it touched the high again, and then at some point it popped right out. And when it did pop, it popped. It didn't just sort of ease out of it, it pops out of it. So that is sort of a classic declining wedge. I do want to get into technical analysis more. I think I'm going to spend some time learning about the different patterns, ABCD pattern and things like that. But this declining wedge is one of the classics, and it certainly did go from 225 around 220 up to almost $3, 290, 290 something. Now the stock has come back down again, but so I haven't really looked at this as for terms of a new pattern. So this pattern's broken, but the way that it broke out, if you had identified this pattern as I had on Sunday, you could be sitting there waiting for the stock to pop above. Like if we have this line and we see a trade coming in up to here, if you can get in there, you can ride it up and then you get out of it right away, basically. So that's sort of a classic technical analysis pattern. Now, that's pretty much what I want to record, just because I noticed this graph from a previous video, and when I looked at the stock again, it had broken, and that's super interesting to me. I don't know how I'm going to if I can trade on this. Right now I'm doing like the option spreads and the covered call strategies. I'm not doing day trading or swing trading, but it is super interesting to see. And if I can recognize another pattern starting to form, like there seems to be a little bit of a, if I was to zoom in on today's trades, it did reach a low and it does seem to be coming back, but I don't know if that's enough to form a pattern yet. Anyways, Remark Holdings, I'm still holding on to it. I've got July calls. They're partly profitable. I'm waiting for them to come back down, and then unfortunately, the Augusts aren't available yet, so maybe I have to wait until the Junes expire before they allow the Augusts to trade. So I'll roll them once the Augusts come out.